to the patch overview for 4.9 Nine-Tailed Terror. This patch features a ton of new content along with the newest SMITE goddess. First up, let's take a look at the new skins coming out. Camazotz becomes a gargoyle in his new Stone Sentinel skin. This skin features some Stone Cold FX and will be available in the new Petrified chest. It's time to travel to the final frontier with Medusa and her new Nebula skin. She's taken to the cosmos to bring this epic celestial look into SMITE. Kuzenbo becomes a ninja with his new Shinobo skin. Not only is he ready to fight, but his ninja kappa are also decked out. Jingwei gets a new Tier 2 skin with Storm Raven, and Ganesha gets his Mastery skins this patch. Medusa, Kuzenbo, and Jingwei skins are all directly available for purchase, no chests or events required. Next up is item changes. Mark of the Vanguard gets reduced passive flat damage reduction. Chronos Pendant gets increased magical power. Emerald Mail gets increased health, and Gauntlet of Thebes gets decreased health. Stone of Fall gets a reduced cost. Thousandfold Blade gets increased physical power. And finally, Shifter's Shield gets a few tweaks to its power and protections. Now it's time for upcoming god changes. Sununos gets decreased physical power scaling on Summer Heat, and his Bramble Blast gets an increased cooldown. Changa's Moonlit Waltz and Moonflower Dance both get increased cooldowns. Erlang Shen's base power and attack speed are both increased. Guan Yu's Warrior's Will gets increased physical power scaling, and Taolu Assault gets an increased duration of protection steal. Hades gets several tweaks this patch. Death from Below gets increased cooldown, while Shroud of Darkness gets a decreased cooldown. Also, Devour Souls gets decreased magical power scaling on the Detonate heal. Odin gets an increase to the base damage of Gunyir's Might. And lastly, Susanoo gets a few tweaks to Typhoon's Vortex strength and movement speed. The final thing to talk about in the 4.9 patch overview is to introduce the newest SMITE goddess and Chinese assassin, Daji the Nine-Tailed Fox. Daji's passive is Torture Blades, which cause enemies to bleed when struck by her basic attacks. Her first ability is Horrible Burns. Her next basic attack causes the target to burn, dealing bonus damage. Her second ability is 1000 Cuts and does exactly what it says. She lashes out, giving enemies quite a lot of cuts. She hits 4 strikes over 2 seconds and applies the bleed from Tortured Blades. She also gains movement speed, immunity to slows, and mitigates damage from behind with her tail. Her third ability teleports to a single allied or enemy target. If it's an enemy, she deals damage and applies the bleed. And finally, her ultimate is Pow Lao. She summons her torture device and gets 3 shots to fire chains at enemies below. These enemies are chained, take damage, and are slowed. At the end of this ability, these enemies are pulled into the center, becoming stunned and taking more damage. That's it for the patch overview for 4.9 Nine-Tailed Terror. As always, you can read the patch notes on the SMITE game website or click on the annotation to watch the complete patch notes show.